Another problem we have here in our country is the growing police state. In fact, the growth rate of the police state now exceeds population growth. Isn't that nice? We now have more jail keepers growing at a rate faster than we have humans here. The numbers of police grew by 25%. In 2008, there were 705,000 full-time sworn officers employed in the United States. That number was 564,000 in 1992. This represents an annual growth rate of 1.6%, which exceeds the 1.2% population growth rate in the United States, according to that survey. And let me tell you, we've shown you plenty of videos of police brutality, so they're obviously not getting the brightest of the bunch. And I just want to go over a few stories here that illustrate that. The first one, this is from Front Lines of Revolutionary Struggle. It's not rhetoric. The local cops are an occupying army, and they've got a lot of little pictures here of these tanks that are cropping up, these SWAT teams that get these all-terrain vehicles that used to be made for war, but hey, now they're coming home because we got to have a place somewhere for these, and you know, the populace is getting uppity because the economy is imploding and there's no place for people to work. Here's the next story. Mayor Bloomberg, I have my own army. In a speech at MIT last night to discuss the PAC sweepstakes to build a tech campus in New York, Mayor Bloomberg says, well, you know, I have my own army in the NYPD, which is the 7th biggest army in the world. I have my own State Department, much to Foggy Bottom's annoyance. We have the United Nations in New York, so we have an entree of a diplomatic world that Washington does not have. So there's Mayor Bloomberg basically throwing in your face that he has an army of thugs out there to basically do his bidding. And this last story from Mail Online is really sad. They brought in an army to take out a 16-year-old boy. Anguish of parents whose suicidal son was shot by a SWAT sniper at his home. And they got some pictures of the boy there. He's a 16-year-old who had a bad day at school. He grabbed the parents' .357. He was just thinking about shooting himself. She called the cops saying, please have someone come talk to my son. Well, they sent in the SWAT team and a bunch of other people with riot shields. And let's scroll down a little further. You can see the guy who shot the boy, the real tough guy there. There he is on the left-hand side of your screen in the glasses. There's the tough guy there who took him out with a giant sniper rifle, shot the kid through the abdomen. You can read the horrible details in the story. But it just goes to show you, when you bring in this police state, when you have the highest prison population in the world per capita, you're going to have stuff like this. You have these police unions, and these police unions have these lobbyists that lobby to keep more people in jail and make more laws. So, I mean, and we're all citizens, aren't we, of this country, of these states? And why do we really need these big police populations? Our crime rates are actually going down. They've started rising the past year, but that's because the economy is imploding. Oh, maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe they've been imploding the economy on purpose so they could come in and bring in this police state. My advice is get to know your neighbors, get to know your local cops, and try to educate them before it gets out of hand. And with that, we go to the quote of the day, and it's from Undersecretary of State Patrick Kennedy. They had the individual under investigation, and our revocation action would have disclosed the U.S. government's interest in the individual and ended our colleagues' ability to quietly pursue the case and identify the terrorist plans and co-conspirators. Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy admitting that they allowed the underwear bomber on the plane. Going to break here, we're going to play that special that we're going to have coming up on Tuesday, the election special. There it is, Globalist Puppet Election 2012. It's going to be a free stream starting that day with the radio show from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we're going to come back from 5 p.m. to midnight with our election coverage. And then the next day, we're also going to have the free streams going with more election fallout. For whichever globalist puppet gets elected, you know we're all going to lose. And with that, we're going to go to break.
Every 4 years, the United States of America hears the drumbeat of billions of campaign dollar attack ads, meaningless debate with empty analysis and poll after poll after poll. This can only mean one thing. It's time to pick our globalist puppet leader.
We're going to be left with a choice of a lesser of two evils. And I'm saying I don't go out with evils, I don't deal with evils, I don't do business with evils, I don't hang out with evils. Why would I vote for an evil to run my life or run my country?
Will it be globalist puppet A or puppet B?
They continue to vote for these Democrats and Republicans, the people that are wrecking our country, and yet they still vote for them.
Unlike North Korea and China, we Americans have the illusion of choice this November 6th.
I think that a lot of votes are going to be stolen.
I don't know how you could possibly have voter fraud when your son owns the voting machines.
1.4 million votes were lost, spoiled, as they call them in the biz, through these so-called glitches.
The choice is not up to you. Which management team from Slavery Incorporated will run our country into oblivion for the next 4 years? Tune in to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.tv this Tuesday, November 6th, as another meaningless pageant is played out.
While we fight to retain our liberty, while we fight to expose globalism, we have to realize we're talking about a very powerful combination of power.
Renowned author and expert Joel Skousen breaks down the globalist plan to shut down America and stage a new world war.
In one day, America will go from day to night. And if you haven't prepared in advance, there's not enough time to prepare in 24 hours, even if you saw it that early.
Coming to the Info War in November is our new documentary film presentation.
Strategic relocation is a systematic way to think strategically in the future about how do I safeguard.
Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation.
The freeways are going to be crowded, they're going to run out of gasoline, they're going to run out of food, and then they're going to start to go north and south of those freeways.
Joel Skousen is renowned as one of the world's foremost experts in strategic relocation and the securing of your home.
We talk about natural disasters, the health environment, we talk about pollution, the water quality. My personal experience about being in every one of these states.
Government is digging in for the organized, incremental collapse of society and world war.
The U.S. isn't building huge underground bases and bunkers because of some terrorist threat. They know that a massive nuclear attack is coming. They want that attack to come. Most people won't even be ready and won't be able to get out of town when any of these nuclear weapons fall, because there'll be absolute panic.
There is no preparedness without strategy.
What I tell people is that you do have time. Prepare wisely in advance.
This Christmas, give the gift of preparedness. Strategic Relocation, the film, with Joel Skousen and Alex Jones.